Speaking of ultraviolence.
Yes.
Twisted Metal was a show that happened, and I watched it with my eyeballs. I'm gonna forget this like next week.
I mean, it wasn't the worst thing we've watched.
No, it's definitely not. But it is. It is the most thing that I've ever watched.
There were enjoyable bits.
Yes, but nothing was like,
this is cinema.
Wow. Yeah. No. There was no cinema moments, but there also wasn't like this was a cash cow moment either. It was just like
it wasn't cringe either.
Mostly, it was pretty dated. I don't think intentionally. I think it just was. They wrote the script 15 years ago. Like, this felt dated in the bad way. Yeah, it's written by a couple of the guys who wrote the Deadpool movies, so weird connection there. I feel like it makes sense though on that. I don't know.
Anthony Mackie is a milkman. He runs jobs and is kind of like a backwards bounty hunter. And he gets hired to do a job. He has to go to the worst part of the country, because this is a post-apocalyptic America, and get the thing, and then he can be welcomed into civilization.
Where they have corn dogs and women.
Yes.
And steak.
So he goes on an adventure over 10 episodes to do the job.
And the job happens, and then he gets in, and then he says, I don't like it here. And then we get sequel bait.
Yep.
I don't think this is getting a second season. It's been really popular, but I don't think it's going to get the best. I don't think it's getting the warmest reception they wanted.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to get funded.
No, it was, I think, a total of like 40 to 50 million for the whole show. And with that in mind, it definitely seems a bit rough. They were, the pre-production was pre-COVID, and then all of production was post-COVID. Weird. So I was having difficulty kind of tracking why the visuals were so inconsistent, and we're like, wow, that was okay, and then like, holy shit, is this 2002?
Right.
Like, I just don't know why that would have happened. Like, I don't know if it's because Peacock outsourced it to a weird company without a lot of experience, or if their own studio is bad. I have no idea. It was weird for like $5 million budget an episode. That's pretty rough. I mean, I don't know, man. I've seen like cop shows that look better.
Good performances.
Mostly.
Anthony Mackie, of course. Thomas Hayden Church.
He was very good for being a very nothing character.
Sweet Tooth is performed by that guy. The performance
is by Samo Joe.
Yeah,
he's a wrestler. He's really cool.
And then is voiced by Will Arnett.
I thought, despite the fact that I think the voice wasn't taken care of very well in post, it definitely sounded like it was coming out of a microphone. I think the two paired pretty well.
Yes.
It just really felt like they didn't do much with the voice, like, on top of the recording.
It was just his Batman voice.
That is kind of true. But his Batman voice is so good.
Yeah.
That's like the best Batman movie to ever exist.
But the voice matched with the little body motions very, very well.
I think I was way more impressed with how well the performance was than the vocal performance, because wrestlers are kind of underestimated on how well they can act, because they have to do so much of their stupid, gaudy, crappy performances through a mask and a big bunch of props and all the junk. Right. So like, they're actually they're just acting, just in a weird setting. And I thought that was pretty solid. Will Arnett definitely just got paid like $10 bajillion to sit at home and like throw some funny memes into his phone, but it was somewhat funny. The jokes were kind of hit or miss. Some were pretty funny. I think most of it was intentionally funny, but not because the jokes were funny. I think it was like, wow, they just right after people start having sex, they put a gas can nozzle into a car tank, and it's like, that was funny. The jokes are not that funny, but I feel like the things that happen are much funnier to watch, if that makes any semblance of sense.
Kind of.
The constructed jokes aren't that funny.
But beans.
There are some beans in this. Not a lot, but like, they're there. They're super not subtle at all, but also it's not the show's main focus at all. It's like, also, mall cops suck, fuck you. And then like, also goes back to hippie lesbians making out in a race car. They definitely had sex on that car. Beans. I had no familiarity with this property whatsoever before.
Me either.
Even when this was announced, I don't think we talked about it. I was like, that's a thing? I don't know what that means.
I kind of knew of it, but I wasn't old enough to play Twisted Metal when it came out, and I lost track of it since.
And it just looks like, especially because it's a series that's, I wouldn't say dead, but like kind of dead. Kind of dead. Like, it looks like GTA mods on top of Mario Kart.
Yeah, kind of.
Like, this is the incoherent gibberish, but it's funny because there's rockets. And that's kind of what the show was.
Yeah.
It was like, this is retarded. But there's big guns.
There was a game that released recently, and it was kind of like a little bit cartoony Twisted Metal, and it completely flopped.
Weird.
So I think someone was testing the waters, and it didn't go anywhere.
No clue.
So
the clown, Sweet Tooth, is literally the Joker, baby, but big
and funny.
He is actually kind of funny. That was more entertaining than I was expecting. I don't like the chemistry between the two leads. I'm sorry. I was just being horny the whole time because I'm a horny person. I don't like their chemistry. I don't think there's much there, and I don't find her very attractive. I really don't.
So you're saying you're being horny for Anthony Mackie?
I was just being horny in the abstract. I'm like, ooh, sex. Not like, I am jealous. You know, just more like,
I don't know.
That's a thing.
I mostly liked it.
Yeah.
It kind of
I've seen worse.
It got annoying when they did the TV trope of like, we like each other this episode, and now we hate each other this episode, and now we like each other again.
But we're fighting.
And now we hate each other again.
Yeah, that was a bit obnoxious. A lot of the car stunts were pretty solid.
Yeah.
They were surrounded by really bad CG backgrounds, but like the actual, we flipped a car and made it go boom, looked pretty damn
really
good. Yeah, so that was cool. The gunplay was pretty shit, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
That was, I think my standard on that is just really high, but that was not impressive. There's a lot of piss jokes. There's a lot of shit jokes too. It had such a potty mouth. They're just so edgy.
I think that's pretty much it.
I feel like it was trying to bet on being edgier than it was. I've seen many shows far grosser than that.
Edgier than the edgy show.
No, I just didn't think it was impressive. It didn't get a wow, they did that out of me. It was like, the first episode of The Walking Dead is grosser than this.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like they could have
said the fuck word
a lot. Like, whoa, you said fuck. I say fuck. What? He's literally me. It's okay. On the TV show rating scale, it's above Resident Evil and on par with Halo.
No,
it's not as I'm attached to Halo, so it's more disappointing that show kind of sucked. But
that show really sucked.
But I had more fun watching that show than I did this. I had fun watching the show because we were dunking on it the whole time. Where if I was watching this in a vacuum in my room, sitting on my couch doing nothing, this is 8 hours of like fine.
Yeah.
Halo is about the same. It's like, this is tolerable television, but there isn't much special here.
Halo was way more painful for me. This show got actual laughs out of me at some points.
I guess.
Whether they were trying to or not, like, I physically laughed. Halo was like, why are they doing this? I want to commit a hate crime.
I think it's below all of the animated TV series, though. Because I really think we just need to stop trying to make live action video game things. Just turn everything into an animated property and it's always better.
Yes.
Like every single one.
And cheaper.
That's it. Like, this is maybe the top of the live action TV show list, but like this is below every animated thing we've looked at.